Well, welcome everybody to another, version, script episode of Nexgen International. I am here with Daniel Zufelt, an old friend of mine and also a business partner. So thank you very much for coming, Daniel.
Hey, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Everybody always asks me about the people that I work with, and I'm always very cognizant about the caliber of person. Does that make sense? I really pay attention to their character more than necessarily their production or their whatever else. Daniel actually has character and is a character and contribution and does great production. And so just tell us a little about you. How long have you been in the business then?
So we go back to the early 2000s. I was in my undergrad program in business management, and I ended up meeting an individual that introduced me to her brother that ran one of the largest and soon became the largest property management company in the Valley. And they worked with investors from all over the country as they were building their portfolio with numbers of units. And I worked with them, was basically trained under them, got licensed under them, and did some property management and consulted investors on best ROI opportunities, rental, flip, all that kind of stuff. And then I got my management degree. After doing some property management, I figured, this really wasn't for me. It was a lot of headache for low money. And so it was like, this really doesn't make sense. My education.
No comment to our property management friends. We love you. Thank you so very much for doing it so we don't have to.
And when you do high volume, it makes sense.
Right. You put 20,000 doors under, you're okay.
Yeah, but as a manager dealing with a lot of the headaches, it's kind of a struggle.
Gotcha.
To kind of stay upbeat and excited and positive about it. So things were taking off 2003 and 4. And the sales side of thing, there was, I had some friends making some, pretty good money, had good lifestyles, and so I investigated that. Ended up partnering with a friend of mine that took me under his wing, and we started rock and rolling under a small brokerage, and we did really well. 4, 5, 6, and then things started, shaking up a little bit. I got some investment experience under my belt, consulted a lot of the investors that were with me at the management company. Okay. And things were really high, obviously, and then 2007 hit, 2008 hit. We tumbled down. We had 80,000, foreclosures on the market, and then it was like, crap, things kind of hit a wall.
Sure.
But then all of a sudden, a lot of the investor relationships I had kicked in, and they were like, hey, it's a buyer's frenzy. Let's go in and buy homes.
Oh, it was an investor's paradise.
So median home price fell from 300 to 150, so it fell down 50, 60, 70%. We actually went down to like 98, 92,000 was median home price, 2009-10 for just a short time. But the investors were loving it, and we sold a lot more units. But obviously, total home sales volume shrunk. Units were up when we were helping investors, fix, flip, and rent. And so I was able to survive that wave, had to shift a little bit of my skill sets to cater more towards the investors and fixing up homes, and built a good network of different contractors. And now to this day, I consult a lot of investors on getting top dollar for their home, even helping home sellers or homeowners that want to get top dollar for their home on how to polish it up. So I always give them multiple options on what they can do to get this amount, what they can do to get this amount, and what they can do to get top dollar. And sometimes that's 5,000, sometimes it's 50,000. But if they have a goal and they want to reach it, I'll show them what it takes to get there. Yeah,
that's interesting that you told me that. A couple of those things I knew, but I didn't know some of those, which we'll talk about probably in another couple minutes. But I see you. We've done deals together and helped families sell their houses and help people buy houses. And it is interesting because you're more than just that average real estate agent who comes in there and says, okay, this is how much your house is worth. You do give those options, and you do have that network from that property management investor world that says, hey, you know what, if we did this, if we changed out your flooring, or if we changed this, or hey, we might even just stage the house and we're going to get an extra 5 or 10 grand. And so he comes with an interesting skill set, not only for those investors that he helped, but also first-time home buyers, people wanting to sell their houses specifically. Those guys really need your help because they don't know. We don't know if, okay, so should we remodel the kitchen? Is it really going to give us that much bang for our buck?
Yeah.
And you know that stuff.
There's so many options. The spectrum is just unlimited as to what can really happen with this homeownership experience and investment experience on trying to get top dollar and get the highest return you can for the home. And I am a a big advocate of striving beyond 110% to make sure that my clients and homeowners do understand the full array of options.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe education is key to the individual that holds the investment or asset and making the best decisions to help them to achieve the goals that they want to attain for themselves. And I believe that homeownership is that foundation into building further financial stability later on. And if they can do it right in the beginning phases, it just dominates.
It hurts less later.
Yeah, it hurts a lot less later, and you have a lot more leverage
Right.
and financial resources to do a myriad of things with whatever
I love it.
you want to go into.
I love it.
With investing. So education is key. I've almost done this 20 years. Thousands of homeowners helped, homes sold, bought, and so I've seen a lot of things, and I like my clients to have that exposure
experience.
through me, and that experience and education through me, so that they could be empowered to make the best decisions.
Yeah.
I like to help people. What can I say?
That's true. He does. Well, it's interesting. Some of the words that he used in the very beginning, right? While he was going to school, he found somebody who mentored him. And then after he got out of school, he found somebody who mentored him. And that seems to be kind of an overall theme for you, and we'll talk about that maybe in a minute. But when I met Daniel the first time, we hit it off. People said that we looked like we were brothers. And I hope I look that good, right? Look at I have more gray. For sure, I'm the older brother.
It's the smiley eyes that we have going on.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And so they said, you got to meet this guy, you got to meet this guy, you got to meet this guy. And after we met, we became fast friends instantly. And we have the same values, the same morals, the same way that we like to help people and mentor people, whether they're clients buying a home or selling a home or agents. And so then all of a sudden you pop up and you say, hey Dino, guess what? I'm going to move to St. George.
Surprise! We like to mix it up. We get bored.
And so he had a wonderful and still a very productive team down here in the great AZ in Arizona. But you went up to St. George, Utah, and began building an empire up there as well.
Yep.
And that has turned out to be a really good decision.
It's been a fun ride. Lots of learning. Again, more stretching because anything that's new is going to require you to stretch.
Right.
But it's been really good, really healthy for me, the family,
Sure.
bank account. Meeting great people, which is what I love. Is building relationships with other phenomenal, excellent people that only help me to maybe polish up some of the rough edges that I have, and I just love learning from others. So.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Well, every time I go up there to do a training class, I'm always floored. Not only is it a beautiful spot, I mean, it's a really pretty spot. If you guys haven't been up there, go up there. Plus all the national parks that are around.
You don't call it Zion Park for nothing.
I know, it's pretty impressive.
It's a little piece
gorgeous.
of heaven for sure.
It's gorgeous. But the people are very nice up there. They really are. I haven't met, remember that the first time I came training, a bolt fell off the bottom of my Jeep and I ended up having to stay an extra day. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, here, go see this mechanic friend of mine. Of course, he has a referral of somebody who can help. And I go over there, and they were like, hey, look, it's going to take a little bit to fix it. Why don't you go spend the night in a hotel, and we'll have it ready for you in the morning. And sure enough, I mean, they were the nicest people. And so I understand why you're up there. It's a beautiful spot. It's beautiful people, and you're building a great team up there as well.
Yeah.
Now, the name of your team is Luxury. Right?
Luxury, yep.
And that's what we had down here as well. As you've noticed that it says Nexgen International now, because that now is the parent company for Luxury Group. And in St. George, you've built that brand pretty strong. I mean, you've done...
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to tell you, but he's done very well.
When I commit, yeah. When I jump in and I believe in something, and I'm in, both hands and both feet, and working hard to make it happen. I believe that a lot of times what sets the difference, between you and anybody else in the business is really a couple things. First, work ethic. which has to do with hungry and motivation and staying focused. Number 2 is obviously being smart, educating, staying on top of the trends and what's happening and innovating and adapting as fast as possible. And then, of course, being humble and teachable and being connected with other well-connected people that you can get coached by or mentored by, so that you can always continue to improve. And that improvement here and within the team only helps our clients to have a better experience. And that's really what it's all about, is helping people, again.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you guys wrote down that list. I really do. That is, you could spend a year working on just those small attributes that you just laid out. Just easy stuff that we all know, but when you add it all together, it becomes very, very powerful. Now, luxury and Nexgen International, we're still partners and we're still working really, really well together. As a matter of fact, as we were building out Nexgen, I remember being in St. George and we were mapping out what is this going to look like, this idea of working together and building out a new brand. And we had decided to build our platform in the EXP world for EXP Realty.
Yeah.
And so what were some of your thoughts as we were looking at, okay, could it work with the brokerage we were in, or what do we need to do? Why EXP for you? I know for me why, but why EXP for you?
Well, again, I partnered up with Luxury originally because of the vision, which was always something a little bit bigger and extensive as far as where it could go and the different directions and opportunities that were within that model. And I really loved the partners that I have with Luxury and Nexgen, primarily because they see the individual potential within a entrepreneur or agent,
Right.
and they can help that individual capitalize on those strengths and not downplay or squander maybe some of the other things because they don't fit within their model, but they're good at emphasizing those strengths and building on those and allowing that synergy to kind of happen within the team and within the individuals to even, catapult and build that business to a higher level, which does involve some autonomy, because you can't take an individual and totally, change them, but taking what they have and utilizing that and making it better with some other tools and resources is an awesome thing, but also kind of hard, and it takes some patience. But if you can see the potential and the talent within somebody and draw upon that and give them some autonomy to use their style and
Right.
their own brand, and help push them over with some additional little helps and tweaks, and feedback, then that individual is productive because they are still who they are.
Right.
They're not, a square peg going through a round circle. They're still a square peg, but they have that scaffolding kind of built around them to help them really become
Build
who they
up.
can be. And so we do have a variety of different, agents and realtors that work within Nexgen and Luxury, and leaders that all have their own talents and styles. And I like that, and I believe in helping somebody really capture that and reach their full potential with that, with some guidance. And that's sometimes all anyone really needs, is just a little bit of tweaking and guidance
That's
to get it.
pretty much my business
Through that
model
glass ceiling,
for
right?
28
Yeah.
years, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
People know what they want to accomplish. They do. And sometimes they just need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of instruction, sometimes some tools that help it make it easier, right? I always find it interesting, this last book that I read talked about farming and how farming has changed in the last 150 years.
Yeah.
Now think about that, right? Isn't that insane? Where we could, it was a horse and a plow, and now it's combines and all this kind of stuff. It's just all the weird things I read. Anyway, but the point is that technology has made it easier for us to produce more with the same amount of hours. Using the right people to mentor you and to teach you how to use those tools is worth their weight in gold, really. And so as you look at your business and as you look forward into your business and say, here's where I really want to go, you need to align yourself with people like Daniel, people like myself that say, okay, let's figure it out. Let's look at your strengths. Let's build from there. Let's not try to break you down and make you something you're not. We're going to make the best version of you possible. And what really is, and it makes me kind of laugh because one of the top producing agents in the East Valley where I live was Daniel. And then one day he walks in and says he's moving to St. George, Utah. So if we can figure out how to adapt and change, and he was already very, very successful here, and I'm not sure anybody's going to come up with a bigger idea than, hey, I want to move to St. George just for fun. You know what I'm saying? I think that's got to be one of our biggest challenges we've ever had, and it's turned into one of the biggest successes.
Yeah, it's been fabulous. And I want to go back to your question about the EXP and how that platform allows us to continue to grow and
Absolutely.
build and help our clients. Again, with the EXP, there's a massive selection of resources and tools. You hit on, technology. They're very innovative and always coming out with the newest and latest and greatest tools and resources there. But they've also allowed us to utilize some of those resources and platforms at a price that makes sense for us, so that then we can reinvest into our own strengths
Yes.
and systems that help us to provide the best client experience for the people that we service. And so when we mix a great combination of technologies and tools at a lower price, it then helps us pass that on, and we have a fiduciary duty to protect our clients' best interests. So we're negotiating on the front end with our services and our partners that allows us to enhance that client experience. And that's what it's all about, because good business is only as good as the relationships that we're in. And those relationships for us as a small business are those people that we service.
Absolutely.
And so we have to be careful with who we partner with, and make sure those relationships are strong and confident and trusting. And then we can do the same with the clients that we love, and we can take care of them at a whole higher level with luxury.
Agreed.
So
we are very, very grateful that EXP was the perfect fit for our model.
Yeah.
It really was. And I know they're bigger and all of that than we are, but when we were looking for that Lego fit, it really was. It fit perfectly with what we were trying to build, not only here in Arizona and in Utah, but nationwide. And so as you continue to grow, not only your Phoenix team, but also your Utah team, what's the one thing that people need to think about that says, I need to reach out to Daniel and ask him this question? What do you think for you? What's that one question that you get all the time?
The one question that always pops up is, why do you do what you do? Why are you still on this path? Why do you love, doing and helping others? And it all goes back to, for me, is that caring and loving to see other people succeed. And not only helping others succeed within our business teams and model, but also helping our clients to succeed. And if the agents that we work with have that level of care, have that level of genuine humanity for others and doing what's in their best interest as a team, then that overflows and carries into our day-to-day interactions with our clients as well. And so the reason I do what I do, and the reason why I care, and the reason why I coach and work hard at the level I do, is because I care about these people that I work with, and I help them to understand that we care about the people that we service. And if it wasn't for my partners here and for my clients here, there wouldn't be any of this amazing, excellent journey that we're on.
We're blessed. We really are.
So we're really blessed.
Life is so good.
Extremely blessed.
Here's and so Dan doesn't know this part because I didn't give him much warning on any of this. One of the things in real estate, after being in it for so long, and both of us have been in it long enough to know this, is the greatest compliment, right? It's kind of a coin phrase in real estate. The greatest compliment we can have is a referral. And that is true. But that's not always easy, right? Other people get real estate licenses, other people coming in and out of the business, all these things, flashy this and flashy that, or I was on this website or on that. My conclusion of this meeting and this interview is going to finish up this way, is I had a past client call me the other day, and they're ready to sell their house and they're moving to Texas. And so we're going to take care of helping them sell their house here, and of course we've already set them up with friends of ours in Texas.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, you have an appointment today at 5.
Yeah.
To do what?
To help a client sell a home over near Dobson Ranch. He bought a home in 2015. He was actually a referral from a guy that works at GoDaddy, and I helped him, and I stay in relationship and contact with him because I care about him and his homeownership experience and journey. And he's needing to make a change. He's needing to get into something bigger, and he needs help updating and resurfacing the pool and doing some things like that. So with my experience and contacts, I'm able to get him some great services at a great value and help him get top dollar and move into that next phase of homeownership that he needs for his family to enjoy
So
the life.
Yeah, so we always talk about, well, the greatest thing you can do is get referrals and that kind of stuff. But here's the jewel of real estate is this. Isn't it that client who we took care of in 2015, who calls us 5 years later and it's time to move, that they remember us because of the service we provide?
Right.
And that is always the best thing. When I meet and interview with agents and see if they are a good fit for our team, I always look at, are their past clients coming back to them? And in your instance, you are the poster child of that. You have past clients coming back to you over and over again, not only to move up to probably a bigger house because they've had a few kids or a couple of new dogs or whatever, but you've also helped probably them get the investment properties. You've helped people sell their investment properties for top dollar. You've done all of this stuff over these last few years, and clients keep coming back to you over and over again because of the service you provide. So they might not say it as much, but I want to say thank you very much for representing real estate the way that you do. So.
Well, yeah, I really appreciate it. I appreciate others that do the same, because our industry honestly doesn't have the best reputation for the quality and the higher standard of excellence that can be provided in our service. And so National Association of Realtors says 83% of people that buy or sell a house with a realtor probably won't use that agent again, okay? And that's because there's a lot of individuals in our industry that aren't full-time experts, and they do it part-time, and they shortcut things, and they just don't know how to provide that excellent experience or that first-class experience.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, and it does come back as a negative kind of a, right, right in the heart sometimes. But that's why we have to continue doing what we do best, and to ensure people that there is hope out there. There are experts that know. There are people that can guide me through every step of the way. There are people that can take this off my shoulders and that stress and allow it to be a more enjoyable experience, even though home ownership and that relocation process is extremely stressful. Third most stressful situation that people go through in their lives is moving across the country. You know, uprooting their family, out of schools, out of the community, and going to someplace that they're not so familiar with. Yeah. So if we can help that relocation process just be smooth, some of those obstacles, they're going to have a great experience. They're going to remember that, and they're going to come back and want to
call you again,
be helped again.
Awesome. Well, I am grateful that we are not only partners in business, but also friends, my friend.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you for taking time. I know you're really, really busy. Thank you for taking time to be here. If you have any real estate needs here in Arizona or in Utah, Daniel is the man. He really is, and he will take care of you, whether it's buying your house for the first time and keeping you.
We'll fight for you.
Yeah, yes, he does. Yes, he does. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, whether you're moving up or trying to sell some investment properties or pick up your first investment property, there is nobody I would call besides Daniel for that. So give him a call. His contact information is here. And we will see you on the next episode or video from Nexgen International. Thanks again, Ben.
Hey, you bet. Thanks, y'all. Take care.